So hello, my name is Kerry and I am doing a bit of a role reversal today on Ask the Surveyor. I have Mr. Lee Robertson sitting with me. So thank you for joining me and thank you for coming. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Obviously, I know this is your podcast and tell me a little bit of who you are and what you do.
I am a surveyor, as you know. Building surveyor. We do pre-purchase surveys, so that's what we specialise in. So we don't do quantity surveying or farming or we don't do valuing. We do pre-survey condition surveys.
Okay.
There's too many words of survey.
There's too many surveys, yeah.
But so basically we do an MOT on a house before you buy it and purchase it.
Okay.
So you fully know what you're buying.
Okay.
Because
so for the people like me, can we reverse? What is that?
So we go into the property. So when you go and view it.
Yep.
When someone wants to buy a house, they go to view it, and they're really looking at the wallpapers, the chandeliers, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And you're looking at, can my family live here?
Yeah, definitely.
Am I feeling this? Is the garden big enough? Is there room for the dog? Stuff like that. But you're not getting in the lofts and looking for rot, damp, all the known hidden defects that wouldn't be on Rightmove. Estate agents don't only show you the good stuff, not the bad stuff.
Okay, so you tend to work with the buyers of the property. You're on their side, really.
Yeah,
aren't
so
you?
the buyer instructs us to do a thorough assessment of the property.
Okay.
So if, say, you bought it for 500,000, now we're in Essex, it's probably about the average price.
Yeah.
And you've made an offer, and you've accepted your offer, and there's 30 grand's worth of works, then you're in the right to say, well, I made an offer of 500 grand, but I didn't know there's 30 grand's worth of works. So I either can you fix these works, these defects, or can we renegotiate? Mm-hmm. But they don't have to. And it becomes a game of chess. But at least you don't want any nasty surprises when you move in.
Okay.
Plug in the kettle. Try and set up the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's more important, a cup of tea or set up the Wi-Fi. But
Okay.
So things like flat roofs, damp, subsidence. That needs a professional eye can detect it straight away.
Right. Okay. So you're looking behind the scenes. Then you're looking at what could go wrong or what's going to cost the homeowners, everything like that. Yeah.
And any danger.
Yeah.
So we go into property. We typically look at the chimneys, the roofs, the gutters, the rainwater fittings, the fascias, soffits, walls, windows, doors, DPCs, damp, subsidence. We check the gardens, the fences, the sheds.
Okay.
Look at even things like drop curb. If there's a driveway, you need a drop curb. All things like that. Whether if it's got a water main, has it got a meter? We check the gas meter, all the services. We don't do testing, but we visually check electrics and gas and boilers. And then we go inside and we got gardens is bamboo and Japanese knotweed.
Okay.
So we look out for that. And then we go inside and we look at the ceilings, walls, floors, bathrooms, kitchens.
Okay. So at what point, so think of me, obviously I'm just buying a house. At what point do I get you involved? When I've made an offer or when it's been accepted? Or because obviously I've bought a house and I'll be honest with you, I don't think we got one. So I wouldn't have a clue.
Currently only 1 in 10 people get a survey. 20 years ago it used to be 2 in 10. People could say it's expensive, but if you find 30 grand's worth of
damage
works and you can negotiate, then the survey's worth its weight in gold. So it's important to have a thorough survey. So the best time to do it is once you've made the offer and you've instructed your conveyancer, and then if you are getting a mortgage, then it's best to them to do, because they'll send their own surveyor there to see if the house is worth what they're lending and what you've offered.
Yeah.
So if the mortgage defaults, they're going to get their money back, basically.
Oh, okay.
So they do a quick survey. Sometimes they do sometimes they go there. But a lot of the time they do desktop desktop valuation, so don't even go to the property. So it's getting less and less.
How do they know that what they're going to get then? If
they do it on risk. So if you're borrowing 50%,
yeah,
and they get the first bite of the cherry if it defaults,
yeah,
they're likely to get their 50% back. So, but if it's like a 90% lend to value, then they tend to go out and have a look.
Right.
But some of them don't even look in lofts, roof spaces. We find lots of issues in lofts. We find
that is scary though, because when you think about it, you're putting so much time and so much effort. People save up for years to get these houses, and only 1 in 10. That's really, really low. Surely it should be made to be like a thing. Right, your next step is to get a surveyor in to make sure that you're buying this property and it's safe and okay, and it's not going to cost you more money. Surely.
The last government did put some advice out there. There was a story of, it was in Midlands, a young couple saved up all their life. They lived at home till about 28. They really did knuckle down and saved hard, so they got the house, all excited. Both parents said to them they don't need an independent survey. They just, the bank survey is good enough, that is a bit of a myth out there now, especially more now that the bank surveyors don't even go to the property at most of the time. They had subsidence. They went to claim on their home insurance. Home insurance said to them, did you have a survey? Because we feel these defects were there before you bought the property.
Oh wow!
And they couldn't. They claim was successful, null and void, and they lost everything because it had to be. I can't remember what it cost, but they just lost everything. Yeah, so
that's
it's sad.
Not fair, is it?
So that's why there was a bit more awareness.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't drive your family round in a car without an MOT.
No.
So why buy a house and put your children in a house which you don't know the.
And it's something, it needs to be a safe environment. You say, like I said, people stay for years and years and years, and you're just putting it on, like, exactly what you said, really. I go in and I'm like, oh, yeah, my sofa will go there, and I can put all my stuff there. I've never even really thought to go around doing the checks that are going to really damage you and hurt you. Yeah,
the lady side of it is they do look at it. Can I have a family here?
Yeah.
Does it feel like a family environment?
Yeah.
But they're not looking at gate arches, brick arches, and stuff like that. Things like that could have caused many deaths in British gardens.
Yeah.
Falling masonries, garden walls. You got carbon monoxide, which is a silent killer. Electrics is a silent killer. I mean, you can't see it, but you can feel it. And all them sort of things. They say men look at a car longer than they do a house when they're purchasing either.
I can probably vouch for that, because my husband would spend ages looking over a car, but I don't think we were in and out. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yep, this will do.
They say it's the average, I don't know what research it was, but I think it was from a conference or something I heard. 12 minutes is the average time that people look at a house.
Wow. That's crazy. When you look at some people like myself, even thinking about my house, I've been in there 8.5 years now. Luckily, touch wood, no problems. But I never even thought about the what if went wrong and stuff like that. You don't. It's like the safety blanket. You're removing everything, and you're just hoping and praying on trust that it's okay when you buy it.
But even if everything's okay, the survey will validate insurance. So if you do have a claim, we had a scenario where the customer contacted me 3 months after I'd done the survey. They had subsidence, because you never guarantee it's going to not happen tomorrow. But if you don't see any cracks or any ground movement, you can't. You only can see what's present at the time. So they emailed me, Lee. We tried to claim on insurance. We got big cracks in the walls. We know they wasn't there before. Have you got photos? We can see in the report that they're not there, but the insurance company said they're not clear enough, the photos. Have you got high resolution photos? And we store all our photos and forwarded them, and they had a successful claim.
Wow, that's lucky.
But if they didn't have a survey, they would have been unfortunate, like the couple in Birmingham, or the Midlands, sorry. And if they didn't have a survey with photos, what I suspect would have happened was the insurance company may suggest that the cracks were there before, when they bought the property, and then it's the surveyor who's missed it. You need to claim against your surveyor.
Surveyor, yeah.
So then it becomes piggy in the middle, and the customer doesn't know where to look or find or help, so they're battling both sides then, and it becomes a long, drawn out, stressful process. So if people are going to have a survey, make sure that the surveyor takes photos and calls them and keeps them.
So that's a lot of pressure on you being the middleman as well. You've got to make sure you know exactly what you're looking at. You've got to have a good surveyor that's really covering everything and things like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's loads of training and knowledge and experience. You can come out of university, do your degree and stuff.
Yeah.
But so it's just not qualifications and doing your degree. I think experience is really, really is key, because you don't get every defect in a book, and there's so many different scenarios and complexities. So, you need to know what your stuff.
Yeah, and you mentioned, again, it might be where I'm not very good and I'm interested now. You mentioned Japanese knotweed and bamboo in the gardens. Can you explain what that is about?
Yeah, Japanese knotweed is a banned species which can spread and grow through cracks. It doesn't break concrete, but there is a bit of a myth of that. It's not banned in every country. If you go to the big park in New York, which is Central Park, it's all over the park, and it's all over New York on roundabouts and stuff like that. But in this country, it's not a very pretty plant. It grows, it's invasive, it dies back down, it causes a lot of damage to railway banks.
Okay.
Because in the summer it grows really fast, and then it shrinks back in the winter. So it kills, it's like on railway banks, it kills everything underneath. And when it shrinks back,
there's nothing
the
there.
Soil hasn't got anything to bind it all. So it's nothing binding.
Okay.
So that's when you get...
okay.
Yeah.
So,
but it's a lot of mortgage companies won't lend on it unless they've got treatment plans and stuff like that. So it's a costly thing.
Right, okay. And again... me being none the wiser as the homeowner, I'd just go in there and not see that and wouldn't know.
Yeah, and bamboo, it's not banned yet. But there's some species it does just spread and it spouts up in people's gardens. It likes to grow on top of drain runs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it causes a lot of damage and a nuisance to your neighbours as well. So if they got a lovely lawn, it's growing in the centre of it, causes disputes with neighbours and arguments and stuff.
Okay.
So if you're going to have bamboo, put it in a pot.
control
so it doesn't spread. Yeah.
Control it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see it a lot actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because typically people will put it on boundaries.
Yeah.
Because it's a good, it gets a good height and it blocks viewing and stuff like that. Because you're not allowed to have fences over 2 metres or 1.8.
Yeah.
So they have bamboo, which acts as a screen, but it then spreads and causes a nuisance, even with a few doors up. It just spreads, and it's
Oh wow! I didn't realise it can go. But like I said, again,
not all species, but some of it.
Yeah.
If you go to Colchester Zoo, it's everywhere, and they've got people just cutting it down all the time. That's their jobs.
Oh
so
really?
It just sprouts everywhere, up the paths and through the paths, and it's quite strong. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Japanese used to use it for torture.
Yeah.
We won't go into that bit, I don't know.
Oh, bless you. Okay. So tell me a little bit before. So your company's...
Ashton Lee Surveyors.
That's it. How did that come around? What did you do?
So my career started as I was a carpenter.
Right, okay.
And I was an apprentice with a company called Brighton Homes, which is no longer exists when people bought them out.
Yeah.
And then the recession hit in around 93, and then I got the offer job from Brighton Homes to work with a guy called Kerry doing after sales.
Okay.
So that's where my early years of fault finding.
Okay.
Used to find, so if there'd be a leak and no one can see where it's coming from, or squeaky floors, and the carpenter's been in and he's put 1,000 screws in the floor and it still squeaks. So we used to do investigation work like that, and that's where the interest started.
Okay.
With defects analysis. And then I started my own company, bit naive, got got unfairly treated by a young QS who wanted to make a name for herself, disheartened, and then I got a job in 2004, I think it was, as finishing foreman for a plastering screening company.
Okay.
And I worked myself up and become a project manager. And then I changed roles, changed companies, sorry, and the stress of it just become a little bit too much. But one day I'd come out of the shower and I'd pins and needles down one arm, and I couldn't catch my breath. So I said to my partner at the time, "Can you book me in the doctors? I don't feel quite right. I don't know, I might have slept on my arm or something."
Yeah.
And she said, "No, I'm phoning an ambulance. You might be having a heart attack."
Oh wow.
So yeah, so that was the start, the change of my mindset, because I didn't have a heart attack, but it was caused by hypertension of years of stress and stuff like that. And I put it down to because I cared too much, and I took it home with me, and I always wanted the best project and stuff like that. The best managers are who deal with stress is when I say leave the gate, they forget about it. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have that skill. So, and also I had diabetes. I still got it. But they said the two combined, a stressful job or a challenging job and diabetes, the two just you'll end up having a heart attack at a young age.
Wow. Yeah.
So my partner encouraged me to look for change careers. We'd done a house up at the time, and it ended up on TV. Anyway, we made good profit on it. It was on location, which is a nice finish to it. And the profit from that, I paid for a level 6 diploma.
Oh wow.
Which just sidestepped. So I had, say 30 years of experience in building.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that, 25. And so it wasn't too big of a transition. So once you learn the pathology of building, it adds to all your years of experience of building properties, taking properties apart, seeing daily mistakes that builders do. It gave me a great insight to now doing surveying, and you can see obvious.
So the trades.
So it becomes obvious to me that all the defects.
So the people must see you coming and want to run, because they're like, "Oh no, he's coming!"
Yeah, I if I do new build snagging, you've always got that. Builders resent people coming. No one likes people picking on their work and stuff like that.
I think at the end of the day, though, you're only there to make things right, safe.
But it's what not so. I don't do so much of that at the moment. New build snagging, I do pre-purchase surveys, so they are for consisting housing stock. That if you buy, down Selborne Street in Southwood and Ferris.
Southwood, yeah.
It's, I look at houses that already lived in.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah.
So that's how you got into it. And where are you at now then? So is it just a one-man band, or? No,
growing the company slowly and strongly. There is a few of us there's 3 surveyors, myself, Jonathan and Jordan. And we've got a media girl called Jordan, and who's engaged to Jordan, so the 2 Jordans. And I've got Amber, who's accounts, and we got we got Tanya, who's the office manager. She does the research, the books in the jobs, she just daily hassles. She does, yeah. Okay.
So what's your... So you done your uni. You said you went to uni. You used the money and you went into uni.
No, it was
diploma. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's
diploma.
Right. So and that's not uni. That's not how.
No. So traditionally, if you want to become a surveyor, you do your uni because building surveying and stuff like that. But because I had a private course.
Oh, okay.
It's well known in the industry, but I don't need to say the name. But it's a private part-time course, and that you had to do years of classroom teaching, and then you do 10 case studies, which was the only hard bit was at the time to get through it because of my knowledge 30, 25, 30 years. I might work it out, but
yeah, you might not want to, hey?
No. Yeah, okay. So I'm 50 now, so I've been in construction since I was 16. Yeah, in some way.
Yeah. Okay. So where are you going with the business? What are you doing with it?
I don't know, actually. It's just the social media thing is what happened was I subcontracted to other companies, and the work was getting further and further away. My mortgage went up. List trust effect. I don't mind saying that, but interest rates went up, and I was getting work further and further away. And I had so many good new ideas that we should be social networking. We need to do podcasts, Instagram, stuff like that, talking about surveying, and also networking, social media networking. And I've always been told that these things don't work in surveying. Yeah. The surveying industry can be very negative. There is a negative culture in some parts of it. But I took the positive thing that, I want to try it. If these companies I work sub to don't want to try it, then it's about time I did. And their rates, their commission went up and stuff. So I thought, I can't keep moaning about it. I need to go and do my own thing.
Nice.
And the social media part of it has really grown the company, yeah. So the only thing with social media is you can't turn it off. So if you put an ad in a paper, or you take to slow it down, you can take
turn it off. Yeah, you
take it out the next week. Yeah. But the social media, it just circulates and circulates and circulates. So
yeah, that's the problem. You push so hard to get a little bit of a fan base, and you push so hard to go and get that eyes on, that when you get busy, sometimes it becomes overwhelming. It becomes. Yeah. How do you cope with that?
My target was to get 20 surveys a month of my own.
Yeah.
To be able to be quite profitable, have a nice life, not like a rich life, a wealthy life, but it is, you have a normal life, paying the mortgage and have the odd holiday. But my target was last year to get to that level by Christmas. I started in March, and it was by June I was 20. And
wow! So you've done really well.
And I find it hard to turn down work. Yeah. And I don't like to overprice stuff, so you people might as well just say you don't want it. But so and then my younger brother's done the same course, and he does it, and then we got so busy that we need another surveyor, and it's just growing and growing and growing. Not sure what to do. Either get another surveyor or turn off
the ads, eh?
Yeah, turn off. So we've done a YouTube channel. Notoriously, surveying videos are surveyors talking about their knowledge, and they got good knowledge, great knowledge, but they talk about maybe that there be wet rot and the mushroom growing on it, dry rot. The mushroom growing on it is the Latin name. They give the Latin name of it, and it thrives in this humidity and stuff like that. And I found I didn't want to go that route because the customer who I'm working for is not interested. Yeah. Really, they just want to know how much it's going to cost. Does it need replacing? And that's the right advice. So these little videos I do on YouTube really is explaining the simple bits of surveying. Okay. So it's a surveyor watch it, and it's all simple stuff to them. It wouldn't be boring, but to the buyer who doesn't know what a fascia is, a gutter, I found out that the knowledge of building passed from your granddads and that is not being passed down as much now. So
no, because everyone's stuck behind a screen and they don't know it.
No, so photos in reports. Diagrams are really important to educate.
Okay. And if they're just, again, might be a silly question, is there like an average price bracket, or is there like do you know what I mean? So is there like a base level that you're going to go in and check, and this is normally
Yeah, I mean, it differs all over the country.
Differs,
Because standard of living
Yeah.
in the south is a lot more than it is up north, so it's slightly cheaper up north and northeast and stuff like that. But it depends on the size
Okay.
of the property, age of the property, if it's listed, if it's the type of inspection and report. So if you've got I've done a famous footballer's house. I've done a tycoon's house, and I was there for 2 days.
Oh wow!
And it took me probably 3 days to write. It had so many things wrong with it. It was so vast. It had like towers and all sorts.
So they can vary in problems, size, age, everything.
You know,
it just adds into it.
You think from, I suppose the most expensive survey was 6,000 to the most cheapest one was probably 350, something like that, £350. So the easiest, quickest one would be a 1-bedroomed, 2-year-old flat.
Okay. So for the people, just obviously for people like me that are naughty that didn't do it, so what is there any tips that you could go in and say, right, look, if you're not, is there anything that they can be looking for that you would really strongly like, okay, if you don't get a surveyor and you don't do this, what tips can you just like little ones? Have you got anything like that for?
Yeah, take photographs. Try and have a look in a loft if they allow you. A lot of estate agents don't want the risk of viewers going up into the loft, health and safety reasons. We find a lot of issues around in lofts, chimneys not supported, rot, condensation issues is a big common problem. Because ventilation is really key to all the properties, so you'll see people block up holes because it's a draft and an energy saving. But drafts is ventilation at the end of the day, and it's really healthy for especially older properties, solid walls. So ventilation. We could bore you to tears about ventilation, but I won't. It is really important. So open a window.
Okay.
But if you see if you see black mold on windows, on walls, it's generally caused by condensation. Ordinarily, I say that as a caveat. And if you see wallpaper being pushed off and salts and plaster blowing and rusty nails and skirting and the paint blowing off, that's generally damp from penetration.
Right. Okay.
There's different.
There's obviously
some varieties to it and stuff. So because generally there's salts in brick, so if it's penetrating damp, usually the salts act as an antiseptic and it won't go black.
Wow.
So
I'm sitting here thinking, wow, it's so interesting. Like you don't even think of it.
But black mold is a massive issue at the moment, especially with modern properties, because they're so airtight now, and living habits need to change. I see it without sounding. When you get nationals coming over with habits of aircon and they don't open the windows, they let the cold out and stuff like that, and they bring them these habits over where we need to live different because we're so humid in this country. So opening windows and
fresh air,
and it's
If you're anything like me, I've got my kids.
So if you see black mould, it's condensation normally, and it's caused by the humidity being too high.
Yeah.
So drying clothes on radiators.
Yeah. Cooking
with pans with no lids on. Things like that. Yeah. Not using extraction fans because that's common as well. People they're noisy, so they turn them off. So
I'm like that. I'm like, oh, stop it, shut up.
But if you like a window open, that's good. It's good. So what happens is the humidity is like a bucket of water. So when it increases, and like a bucket of water, if you're filling it up, it has to fill over.
Yeah, spill over.
Humidity gets to a point, and it's called dew point, and it turns to condensation. And condensation sits on the most coldest surface. It finds it. It's physics or chemistry, whatever it is. It's amazing. It just find it. So you'll find on a solid wall, old property pre 1950, 60, solid walls, the coldest surface is the walls because
Yeah.
they're solid, so they're cold bridging. Where modern properties have got cavity, so there's a break,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
so that there's no cold transfer. So then the condensation is likely to go on the windows where the
Windows,
glass
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you remember, I certainly remember my nan boiling potatoes and socks and stuff, just furiously boiling everything to death.
Boil, yeah.
I remember the water streaming down the windows and stuff. So
No, I luckily I've got smelly teenagers, so I'm always opening the windows because I'm like, open the window.
yeah,
So yeah, no, it's good to know, and it's good to, like, for people obviously listening. They sometimes they won't know any of this anyway, so it is really good to understand of where to be looking at when we're going into these properties if we're not. But by the sounds of things, if you're spending and writing up so much, this is not just your normal quick look around. There's a lot that you have to look at.
yeah, and over insulating also causes condensation where there's blocking up ventilation. So the thing is, if you insulate, you make sure you ventilate. Is a good tip.
Right. Okay. So how can I ventilate? How can you give me any tips for that?
Yes, if you've got trickle vents on your windows.
Sorry, trickle vents are.
Yeah, they're the little bar.
Oh, the
on
little
the top
bits at the
of the
top.
window.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
slide it open.
Yeah.
Not every window's got it, but building regulations now, you've got to have that. So any new windows fitted, you've got to have trickle vents. It's spoilt the sound because some of the sound comes through it, and then people ask for it not to be fitted. But it is really important. And trickle vents, humidity censored extraction fans in bathrooms.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And simple tips: don't dry clothes on radiators. That's one of the biggest things.
Okay.
Because all that water it's just lifting from the clothes
Straight up
onto
into
the
air.
surface, into the air, and once you meet the dew point, it goes onto the walls again, and you'll find a lot of black mold behind furniture where it's not ventilating.
Yeah.
So the moisture will sit on the wall, and then it just turns mouldy because it doesn't ever go dry.
Okay.
Or it takes longer to dry.
So, and I'm assuming, like, in the summer, we all have our doors open, we all have our windows open anyway. So it's more in the winter that you do need to ventilate. So these little trickle vents, need to...
vents.
Yeah.
Prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
So you can get these anti-mould paints, but it doesn't really, just keeps it away. So keeping humidity down, reducing humidity is really key. And you only have to swing it one way so it doesn't reach dew point. So you might be really humid inside, but if it doesn't reach dew point, you're not going to have these issues. So it's just little tips. So, I've said it a few times now, drying clothes on radiators, use a tumble dryer.
Yeah.
With vents out or self-condensate.
I was just about to say, though, because, like, you wouldn't be... If it's okay if it's got the drawer with the water on it and then you can empty it. But I suppose you don't want the big old... what is it? The plastic, like, the... hose. You don't want that just to be left over the side, because I remember as a kid my mum used to just have one, or think it was my mum, they'd just have one sitting there and it'd just be blowing all of that straight back into the air.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
It's just
and then it's just
pointless.
putting all... it's pointless. Yeah. Okay.
So, the modern ones now have got the drawers, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right,
My one has. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But make sure they clear the filter.
Clear the filter. Yeah.
Because that causes fires. But, so many house fires are caused by tumble dryers. So you're going to have a tumble dryer. Make sure you clean your filter.
That's it, yeah. Make sure it's empty and don't dry
have you ever got one out and it's really hot and compressed?
Yeah,
and you think, wow, and that's how fires start. I'm not sure if that's our Grenfell side was a tumble dryer, but I don't know if it was the filter. I
thought it was a fridge.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
it was some appliance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely appliance.
Very sad.
So
obviously.
what can you tell me? Is there any horror stories, or what's the worst job that you've been to and you just think, oh no? Would you advise them not to buy a property, like just walk away now? Or
I never advise that because I don't know what their budgets are. I don't know what the situations are. But I can tell you two scenarios. I had a lady, she got divorced, but split the money, so she's getting a new house, and the back door, she didn't realise, had a cat flap.
Okay.
And in her mind, she's living on her own, and she's going to have all the street tomcats coming into her house freely, and she didn't want to buy the property because of that, and because bar anxiety really increased. And when I explained to it, it's a really simple thing. They just need to change the panel, and if you've got a reasonable, someone, like Essex windows, something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's like a £50, £100 repair.
Yeah.
So I take the time to explain to them, but and also I've had a roof which collapsing, it's rotten, and it's a new roof, 60 grand, something like that. And the guy said, "I'm a builder, it's all right. I've got my brother's a roofer, and we'll sort it."
Wow.
So
okay.
it's yeah. So I explain what it is and give them some sort of cost, get some quotes. And it's really entirely up to them. I would never say don't buy it, but I tell them what needs to be done and potential costs, so they're aware of it.
You sound like to me like you're the safety net of like, yes, this is looking. Yeah. You are a safety net.
It's a big investment.
Yeah, it is.
It's securing your investment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I've never even looked at that myself. Like you don't realise how much money you're putting into this. You need to be making sure this is a good.
Hence why the podcast, because there isn't enough awareness.
No, there's not.
1 in 10, they say. Not sure where that evidence, research comes from. But I got it from the RPSA.
And does a lot of your customers, is it advised from like the estate agents to come and get them, or do they know individually that they need is this something that they've researched, or have they been pushed to, do you know?
They don't. Estate agents don't have to recommend a surveyor.
Yeah. I think they should though, shouldn't they? Surely. Yeah,
they should do. But there's a lot of surveyors out there, certain sectors of it, that over-egg stuff to further protect their PI insurance, which is wrong really. We got a different approach. You instructed me to go and tell you everything about that property. I'm not going to over-egg it and increase your buying anxiety just to further protect my PI, and that is widely problem in your industry. And I think that's one of the reasons why people don't have a survey. There's the knowledge of lack of knowledge of that. They think that the mortgage surveyor is good enough.
That's what they're good enough. Yeah.
That's an old wives' tale for years. Especially now that it's not adequate advice, and it's not widely out there.
Right.
There is some estate agents, because of these surveyors that over-egg stuff and unnecessarily paint a dark picture of the property, which just increases buying. Because if you're buying a house, it's all your money normally.
Yeah.
Unless you're so rich you can buy yachts and stuff, but it's going to be the most expensive thing you're going to buy, and it is. I feel it all the time. Seller anxiety, buyer anxiety, it's all there. So, surveyors out there, I think we need to be producing a thorough survey with lots of photos, so it's protected with their insurance claims and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think as well, like you said,
because that's the point of having a survey, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to know everything about it.
You want to know everything.
You don't want to be scared of not buying that property because it's a broken tile and it's going to, and there's some of the scaremongering. I have read a report where the garden gate had rusty hinges, rusty screws in the hinges that could fall off and kill a child. I thought, I suppose in the extreme events, and we're talking about that film. What's that film called? Where weird accidents happen, but
I don't know.
It's not a general risk, is it? So, they do over-egg stuff.
That's what I mean. There must be for people to be thinking that this is not necessary. Are they thinking of you guys as the person that comes in and picks faults on everything, and not being realistic? You're not really looking for the little things. You're looking at the long term, what's going to maybe cost you money. So you're looking there to be their safety net of, okay, we can get this property, but this might be an issue at a later date, or this is a current issue that you're going to have to fix now. Yeah,
like typically property what's built in the 90s, 2000. So it's 25 years. I know, it's unbelievable. 30 years old. The typical faults we see is the timber fascias and soffits.
Yeah.
And barge balls all flaking paint.
Yeah.
That's a costly thing. Either you change it with plastic, your PVC,
Yeah.
or you paint it. But because you need to make sure that the painting is getting up there, or the bloke, it's got to have the right, the right working at height apparatus.
Yeah.
It all costs money. It's to, you're looking at least two. I couldn't imagine, but $2-3 just to repaint them all.
Yeah. Wow.
So and the gutters are now becoming. Plastic gutters are now becoming hard and brittle, and the joints are leaking, and you obviously see staining and damp brickwork. And
well, that's when you get all of that wood rot and stuff like that, and it starts everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you need to divert water away from the building to keep it dry. Yeah. So if you ventilate a property and keep it dry, you will have a house forever.
And it might be a silly question, but I know you go inside the house and inside the house and up into the loft, but do you look outside the house? Like, do you look on top of the roof and things like that with a drone, or you up there with your ladder?
Drones. I mean, I think like most of us, they get the new toy with drone and stuff. I still got my poles, poles. I did have a little spate of doing the drones, but it's windy and knocking on next door neighbours.
Get stuck in a tree.
Can I back, please? So we do both.
So you do look at all like the outside.
It's really high, like London, where they're like 3-4 stories high. Poles are not really good enough, but
no, you have to get more specialised.
Yeah, whatever's needed. We are thorough.
Yeah, no, it sounds it. Okay.
But there are surveying firms out there. I don't know for what reasons, but they don't. Jonathan's ex-company didn't ever use a pole. Didn't look at. So if he couldn't see a flat roof from the ground, he just had to say we couldn't see it. That is shocking. I think in modern day, because we got all the tools to do it.
Yeah, and again, you're overlooking something that could.
It's only a pole and a camera. So.
Yeah, you're overlooking something that could give you a major issue.
They say it's health and safety because you're looking down. And you're looking at the phone, you're not looking at the pole. But to avoid that, I tell the guys to put the camera on video, put the pole up, and video it. Also, you've got nice video, and when you're back safe in the office, and then you can look at the video, because there's loads of tools out there now, computer software, that you stop the video, you see something, stop the video, and you snip it out. Easy.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse. So make sure your surveyors have got the equipment and are prepared to look at flat roofs if you can't. Because flat roofs are costly.
Yeah, especially if they go wrong, because there's like loads of different, isn't it?
Yeah, because the scaffold to get up there is £1,000. I think the minimum price for a scaffold is £1,000, is it?
And I think it's very in, isn't it, now to have all the flat roofs and the what are they called? The dome, the light things. I can't remember what they're called. With the rubber and the
roof lights.
That's
the
lanterns. Roof lights,
the roof lanterns.
Yeah, to be able to go in and check all of that make sure when they've had an extension, to make sure that you come in and make sure that is all safe, it's not going to leak. And
we can't take it apart and check if it's been done properly, but we can check if it stood the test of time.
Yeah,
that's all our inspections has the extension's been there 10 years, has it stood the test of time, and time is a good tester.
And do you it might be a silly question, but do you put like time frames on of, I think this is okay for the next 10 years, or you can do that? Say,
never a silly question.
Well,
only the one you never asked.
Only, exactly. You don't ask them, you don't know, do you?
We can look at felts, and if it starting to wear, especially the corners and stuff, and it becomes brittle, and the bitumen's starting to crack, we can predict they say it's got a 15-year life. They guarantee them for 10 years felt.
Yeah.
But we can say you need to allow for. You need to save some of your pennies. Don't go on a cruise. Go to Clacton.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You're not going on holiday. You need to fix this.
Yeah, people spend money on a new sofa instead of buying new gutters. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Another question for you, Lee. What should I be doing to maintain my house? Is there anything that you can tell me that will help me look after my house for a longer amount of time? Yeah,
so making sure that the gutters are healthy and not leaking. So it's really important to divert, we touched it on earlier, to divert water away from the property.
Okay.
So that's why the roofs are slanted, so the water drains down the roof into the gutters, down into the drains. when they're leaking and soaking into brickwork, it can cause issues such as damp. If it's cavity, not so common, but if it's solid walls, certainly. But it causes other problems, like once the brick is wet and it's freezing, you get frost damage and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Clearing gutters in the autumn, ready for the winter.
Yeah. So
don't do it in the spring. A lot of people clear their gutters in the spring, but it's nice. Or everyone gets out in the garden. Oh yeah, look at us. Make sure it's after autumn. All the leaves have fell. It's ready for winter when we're getting most of our rain.
Yeah, so it's just preparation for the bad weather. You know that it's coming. You need to get rid of all the leaves and the black patch.
Just make general maintenance. So if you've got timber windows, making sure they're not cracking paintwork, your fascias, soffits. Just check your pointing, stuff like that.
Right.
Sticks around windows. We had Mike in earlier. Simple things of oiling your hinges or even on UPVC. I find often that when we test them, they're stiff because they've never the inside of the windows and they've been cleaned and haven't been oiled. So just little things like this. Lots of tips on the podcast.
Yeah, no, perfect.
And so outside, keeping everything diverted away, maintaining paintwork. If there's broken tiles or pointing on a roof, it's prevention's better than cure. So try and prevent anything's happening. So the earlier you catch it, the better. Because because if you leave the little things for too long, they become expensive.
Okay, yeah. And what about, is there anything that going from now you going in to help the buyers, what about the sellers? Is there anything that you can tell them to be looking for? So if they're thinking of selling their property and they don't want to be knocked down on their price from a buyer or anything like that, is there anything that they should be looking for to make sure that they're prepping their house to be in its best place?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
In some countries that's mandatory, that the seller has to do the survey.
Oh, okay.
And prevent...
And not here?
I think that's the case in Scotland. I think. No, I've not researched it that much, but that's what I'm told. I'm not sure even though they say it's a better system in some ways. But yeah, I do get the odd, probably 1 in 100, that a seller is looking to put it on the market.
Yeah.
And don't want any nasty surprises, and don't want the wall pull over their eyes.
Yeah.
I
think it's just about being honest as well.
Also, like parents can be challenging for the kids when they're buying it, because dad wants to be a hero, wants to save them some money, so they find a defect and you should get in $5,000 off that, and parents should keep out of it really and just get surveyors to look at the stuff.
Yeah, so that definitely is a thing.
I'm speaking to Mary, the estate agent we know,
and
she says parents are nightmare sort of sports so many sales. So get trusted advice, not motivated, emotional ones. Yeah, advice.
Outsourced persons, they've not got the link to it, and they're going to go in there with the mission of, we need to look after this property.
Because parents, if you got a handy-on dad, he's a builder, and they always feel like, I don't want my kids to be ripped off. I'm going to go in there, look at everything, and yeah, I can see why. It's because they're kids and stuff, but they're not every seller's trying to rip people off and get. Yeah. But and so they get involved. Oh, we should get $10,000 off, and something would cost $1,000, and so.
But again, it's probably something that you would think that we'd naturally push and educate people.
It's the same parents who tell them they don't need a survey.
Yeah.
Because the bank is a good enough survey.
Yeah.
When banks do a desktop, don't even get in their car, or we touched it on earlier, or drive by just to check the house is there.
Yeah.
Or if they come and do the survey, they're there for 10 minutes.
Wow.
So it's not a thorough thing they do.
And what if...
It's not... Some banks do thorough surveys, but...
So what if you didn't get a survey, people like myself? What if you didn't get a survey? Can you get a survey at a later date? Can you have a survey on your house at any point? Or is this only when you're buying the property?
Yeah, because it's a stamp in time. It's inspection at time.
Right. Okay.
Especially, I mean, I've done some elderly customers that want a tick list to maintain. If their office, their careers are not involved in building, they want some expert advice, so they will get a survey, and I'll tell them what they need to do and what don't need doing. That's okay. You can manage. Don't have to do that. But what's important.
I'm thinking more along the lines of when people are coming out of retirement and things like that, or they're going into retirement. Whilst they've got their monies, a lot of people go round looking after and sprucing things up and making sure. At that point, maybe it would be a good idea to call somebody like yourself so that they know, okay, look, this is going to be okay for the next 15 years, but you might have to do that. It might be worth doing that now whilst you've got the money. Like, does that make sense? Yeah,
definitely, because it's non-monetary motivated advice.
Yeah.
So most people get a builder out and they get a roofer. And, they're there is some not very nice money motivated tradesmen out there. So they don't always get the true balance of what really is. They over-egg it and because they want our money. And money motivated advice is not always the right advice.
Yeah.
So if you get a surveyor, they will give you. It's getting the right surveyor though.
Yeah. Well, they don't know Lee. They've got to come They've got to come and see their Lee.
Most good local surveyors.
Yeah.
And if they are members of the RPSA, I would say they are generally honest. That? It's the Residential Property Surveyors Association.
Okay. And you have to be a certain qualification to be in that, or
you do need some. You do need not some, but you need. There is you need to be either SAVA or a degree, or different.
Oh, okay, different levels on it. Okay.
Yeah. Different pathways.
Okay. So have you had any awards or put yourself forward for anything of that type thing, or in your career?
No, it's there isn't a local surveyor awards. It's not that sort of thing. The big corporates, I think, maybe go out for awards, but no, it's not a widely thing. No, don't think so. Not aware of it.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Would I want a reward? No.
No.
I'm just satisfied that customers are. My goal is every time they have a survey, they fully know what they're buying,
what they're walking into,
and potential costs.
Yeah.
So even if the house was perfect, which I haven't found one yet.
I was just about to ask that. Yeah.
But I have found excellence. There's a difference. There's no such thing as perfection, but there is excellence. It's the best money wasted, if you know what I mean, because you've got the security and plus you've got protection against insurance.
I think that's the biggest shocker as well, that if you don't have one done and something goes wrong, they might request it and it might...
They always request if you're in their terms and conditions.
And it might void your insurance.
You should get an insurance. And I understand why... insurance companies request a building survey because they're going to insure that property, and if you haven't done your due diligence, then you're putting them at risk of claims. So I do get why they do it.
Yeah.
But both parties need to do.
Both parties need to protect that investment on their sides.
Yeah.
And if their mortgage people are doing it, but they're only doing it for a certain level, you need to do this side to make sure that you can provide all the information if ever, God forbid, you never need it. But
that couple in the Midlands, it wasn't the insurance company's fault.
Yeah.
They're not going to insure something was falling down. But they also are not going to put premiums by sending out surveyors to assess the properties. So it's down for your own safety to get it done and validate insurance.
Yes, it's really interesting to know that, because I didn't know that at all.
No.
Hey, taught me something now.
For once.
For once, eh? Okay, so another thing is, ask the surveyor. What's happening here? Series 1, how's that all going?
It was an idea that put to me, and and it's just brand awareness and education to we try and keep it simple.
Yeah.
I've also got a YouTube channel called Ask the Surveyor, which is simple little videos, so they're no good for surveyors to learn from, unless they're really unknowledgeable, which they shouldn't be, but they're just really simple videos for the buyer that has been not taught by their parents, or they're just simple videos because they don't, if they get too technical, no one's interested. So I just keep it simple. So I just do a video that's rot. That's what rot looks like. If you're thinking of having a drive, you need a drop curb like this, and it's just. I mean, everyone thinks that everyone knows this stuff, but my experience of doing over 2,000 surveys, that the customers don't know the simple things. Because I think it's simple, doesn't mean that everyone knows it. So that's what I've learned. So they're really simple videos, not for other surveyors to learn and show off any knowledge. It's just for home buyers, just little tips.
Just little tips and advice they can go and learn about that kind of subject.
I mean, is surveying interesting unless you're buying a house? I'm not so sure.
I think it is now. I'm going to go home and tell my husband, right, did we have a survey? We need a survey. We're calling Lee.
But yeah, I mean, there is people have surveys just to check what they need to do, because if to the untrained eye, early defects cause bigger defects, and it's only when the defect becomes a problem that people then phone up a builder who then may have sales motivated advice. I do know that a few frost damaged tiles, and the
so what about
roofers said it's porous, it needs replacing, and it was just
What about again? So if you go round and you do a survey on somebody buying a house and they go, yep, thank you very much, Lee, brilliant, everything like that. They buy the house, they go in the house, they're in the house for a good couple of years, and then they decide that they want to do an extension and things like that. Does that then, because obviously they're dealing with the, structure and stuff like that, does that then void your survey, or do you then have to come back and do another one on that area, or to add it on a bit of paper?
Isn't a guarantee.
Yeah.
So it's like an MOT. Once you have your car MOT, 5 minutes after, it's not a guarantee that brake's not going to fail.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't do. So so that's what it's a snapshot of the time of the inspection. So it's an assessment at that time. Like the couple in the Surrey who had a subsidence 3 months after, because we had that really dry summer 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. On clay, shrunk and affected his footings.
Yeah.
So another if we were saying earlier about if you can get into a loft and look, is spray foam insulation.
Spray foam insulation
is where they spray the foam on the underside of the roof.
Yeah.
And you get a salesman going around and selling it. Most banks won't lend on it.
Why?
So that can devalue, because it traps the timber, and timber doesn't get any ventilation, and when you're getting dew points and stuff like that, it's still condensate, and then
so there's no breathing.
So there's no ventilation, and
okay.
then the moisture content raises into the timber, which then causes rot, and then weakens the timber and weakens the roof eventually. So banks have got most banks, I think. I don't know any banks who do lend on it, but so that if you got a house what's got spray foam, you only can then sell it to cash buyers, and then the buyer has got the power then, and then it reduces the price and stuff like that. Right, okay. Yeah. That's so the less demand. Yeah. So there's not a lack of demand for it, because the buyer then can't sell it on to. So these spray foam companies are now charging people to remove it.
Oh, okay.
So the problem with foam is it's not the actual foam, it's the way it's installed. So the manufacturers say that they should have a felt on the back of the bitumen felt, the roofing felt, sarking felt also known as, and they should be channels at each side of the timber, so a 50mm channel, so they ventilate. but no one in the industry has seen it installed correctly. So the foam is getting a bad name, but it really is. If it was correctly installed, it'd be okay. But it's but every time I've seen it and other people have seen it, it's not installed correctly.
And do you see a lot of houses with that in, or now, or?
I come across it probably 1 in every 100, maybe something like that. So
it's still out there. It is still.
Yeah, maybe 2 in every 100. I see it and my heart sinkens because I know, like,
you know what it means.
Yeah, it could be a cell. Well, normally it is a cell stopper, or the owner gets it removed. That's what usually happens, and it's the same companies who installed it are now removing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that's morally right, but you know, the world goes round, doesn't it? Well,
yeah, it's sad that it doesn't give them much choice. They've got to do that, otherwise they're not going to get the asking value of what
sadly,
they
prey, the salesmen of that prey on the elderly, that they can reduce their bills by hundreds, and
it doesn't really. It doesn't. Yeah. No, that's not fair.
The elderly don't like opening windows. That they are, because they've got no more money, and their pensions are lower, and the fuel prices going up and up, and they're in fear. So
yeah, I always my nan never used to like open the windows because she goes, "Oh, I'm letting all the heat out," and I'm like, "Nan, but you're causing so much more problems.
Yeah,
you need to get some fresh air in here. Get some fresh air in your lungs. Get up, come on."
So if you fill a draft, don't block it. Put a jumper on.
Yeah, exactly. Get a blanket. Okay.
So socks.
For everyone that is listening, Lee, how can they find you? Where can we find you?
Ashton Lee Surveyors. You can find our website, which has got all the contact details at ashtonlee.co.uk.
Okay, perfect. And you are based here, which
Essex
is Essex
and central London.
Okay, but you can cover just.
Yes, I if I don't do the area, I can divert to the RPSA, who will find a thorough surveyor.
Perfect.
Which is important.
Well, thank you so much for letting me come and question you for a change. It's been really, really good.
Yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, and thank you for hosting.
No, yes, I've really enjoyed it.
You're better hosting me.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No, I will definitely give it back to you. So yeah, thank you for coming and letting me do. So my name's Kerry Keeble and my company is called MGLB Contracts. You can find me LinkedIn. My website is www.mglbcontracts.co.uk.
And you can find Kerry on a previous episode of Ask the Surveyor, where she talks about hoarding and cleaning, and it's a really good episode. So if you like a cheeky smile, come and watch more of a smile on the podcast.